been ever said about you? I think for all of us, that stands true. Yes or no? Yes. If that's true, then somewhere or the other, we need to be more guarded while we are listening. Okay? So that was the catch over here. Okay? You all qualify to be very good listeners and with the potential to excel as one of the best listeners, and probably from now on people will never say that the trouble with you is that you don't listen, and that should never be said to you. That's not at all a compliment. Do you agree? Okay, I need 2 volunteers, 2 male volunteers. Come forward to the stage quickly. 2 male volunteers, come forward. Come in, run up. We have to manage time. Okay, what's your name, young man?
Jaideep.
Jaideep what?
Jaideep Kumar.
Jaideep Kumar. What's your name?
Puneet Jain.
Puneet Jain. Okay, Puneet Jain is a cross-cultural client and he is visiting India, and this cross-cultural client is coming from America and is wanting to visit the Indian counterpart and see how the first phase project has gone, and to assess it and to evaluate whether refunding should be done or whether the second phase should go on or not. Okay, so he is coming to India and he is the American cross-cultural client, and to Puneet we give an American name, that is John Smith. Yes, leave it. Leave this mic. Then we can't act. Mic पकड़ेंगे या act करेंगे. Okay. Question answer के लिए दीजिएगा. Thank you. They're well-built, intelligent people, and I'm sure the voice is going to be audible to the far end. Okay, and he is an Indian person. His name is Jaideep Kumar. So Jaideep Kumar has gone to the airport to welcome John Smith, the American cross-cultural client. Yes, so let's just watch them. I want all the eyes over here. Is that clear? Okay, please. Okay, so you are just greeting. So let's see how you greet him, how you welcome him. That's it.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to India. I'm fine. How was the journey?
It was quite good, and I was traveling so long, and India is good.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I hope you don't have didn't get any problem in journey.
No.
All right, stop. Okay, class, what did you observe? I can't hear you. Come on, we have to be effective. So when you are speaking once, let it be audible to everyone. Stand up and say. Your voice is going to go louder. Quickly. What culture? You saw Indian culture. What else did you notice? Come on, stand up. You just take the initiative and stand up. They both shook hands. Okay. Now, he said they both shook hands. Now, what did you observe when they shook hands? What did you observe when they shook hands? Okay, somebody who's speaking, please stand up and speak. Come on. Please stand up and speak. A smile on the face. What else? Positive body language. What else? Eye contact. What else? Jaideep initiative. After all, he's going to welcome him. Okay. We are not going to ask how did he recognize or what, why did he call him sir and why the other person did not call him sir. We are not going to track all those things. Okay, now shaking hands. Now let's focus on the shaking of the hands. How was, because the very first exercise was a gist of what I'm going to say today. That is, I told you, do not shake hands and do not hug anybody or touch anybody. Okay. Now, there's one physical contact over here, cross-culturally, and how was the handshake? was the handshake? Did he hold on to the hand too long? I thought yes. I thought yes. Okay, I'll just give you a demo. Watch this. I'll have many more volunteers. Jaideep, you have watched from there. You are the cross-cultural client. He is John Smith. I'm Anita Tripathi Lal. Going to greet him. Okay? Hello, Mr. Smith. How do you do?
I'm fine.
Okay. You know, when you shake hands, since it's a lady's hand is gripping over here, it should not be a firm grip, but then it should be a firm grip when a man to man, and can you see? Your thumb has to be straight. 1, 2, 3. That's it. 2 to 3 pumps. You cannot hold on. They shook hands once. There was one pump and they held on for some time and then they pulled out. You know, when you're shaking hands, because that's one physical contact, you form your hands. If you have those sweaty hands, nervous hands, of course people will never find you warm enough and not do business. So beware of that. But then, you know how you hold the hand. You hold it with a very tight grip. People will say the person is dominating, will not do business. You do it with a light grip or they have no respect. But for a lady, you cannot have a firm grip. It has to be little low on the firmness. But at the same time, it should be 2 to 3 pumps. And whereas in Delhi, how do we greet people? Hi. It's kind of, you know, I am more dominating, I'm more powerful. They non-verbally, many things are perceived. Now, the very first greeting, that is handshake, if it is not good enough, people think twice. Have we entered into the right zone? Are we going to do business or not? And if we are going to do business, can they understand and appreciate our business ethics and our work culture? Yes or no? Okay. So, can we have one firm grip? Handshake. 1, 2, 3. Hands straight. Thumb straight. 1. Hold it. Hold the hand. Yes. 1. You hold the hand. Why are you keeping it straight? Yes. Hands straight. Yes. Hold it. Yes. Do you see the grip? 1, 2, 3. That's it. Thank you. Australians, Americans, Europeans, they all follow 2 to 3 pumps. We Indians, we Asians, we are different. Yes? Okay? I'll need, thank you so much. I need one male volunteer and one female volunteer. Come on, quick, run up, run up. Come on, hurry up. One female volunteer, come in. One male volunteer, come in. I just had an eye contact with you and you are avoiding me. Yes. Learn to deal with things. Stage यहाँ पे है, यहाँ से. कोई बात नहीं. I'm here to help you out to understand. Yes. Okay. What's your name, young man? Nitin what? Nitin Chaurasia is from India. What's your name, young lady?
Navneet Kaur.
Navneet Kaur is a French businesswoman and she's coming to India and the purpose is same to assess the phase 1 project. Now, French businesswoman is to be greeted at the airport and let's give her a name, a little European, but let it not be a tongue twister. Let it be Annie John, okay? Miss Annie John, and you are Nitin. Nitin is going to welcome Annie John at airport. Yes. Okay. Good. You know, I appreciate she said bonjour. That's nice. But then did you see the handshake? We were focusing on the touch factor. It went on 2, 3, but yes, the grip was light. Okay, Nitin, just watch from there. You know, she's Annie John, I'm Anita Lal. Even if it's a lady who's going to greet, who's there to greet a French businesswoman, just see the greet. Hi, Miss John. That's it. You know, French people of all the Europeans, they're a little more reserved, they're a little more cold, they're a little more introvert, they're a little more snooty. So for them, that 2 to 3 pumps do not work. For them, it's a very light handshake, and with a lady, it's a limp. It's a limp. Hi. That's it. Just touch. It's only eye contact. Now, with a French businesswoman, you try to do the normal 2 to 3 pumps or the Indian handshake of holding by both the hands. You are certainly going to be not only going to be taken out from the business, but you are going to be sued for harassment. So be aware of the legal aspects of business communication. Thank you. I need one male volunteer. Run up, please. People at the back, if you need to be participative, you should be on your toes. What's your name?
Mossam City.
Huh?
Mossam City. Mossam.
Mossam Sethi.
Yeah.
Go there. Mossam Sethi is from Saudi Arabia and he is then Abdul. His name is Sheikh Abdullah and I'm going to welcome him at the airport. Huh? Hi Mr. Abdullah, how are you? How was the flight? How was the food? Good? Okay, now he's holding hand. Why are you holding my hands? That's what is non-verbal communication. But believe me, these sheikhs love this light shaking throughout. You know, till they are ushered to the car. They want that little light holding, you know. How are you? How was the food? You know, they are good foodie. They want people to be warm, hospitable right from the very beginning. If they do not see the businessman doing this, they think, oh, how are we going to adapt? Let's not do business with them. That's why they do not have many such joint ventures. Okay, so beware why people behave differently. Thank you so much. Okay, have you ever thought why in the West, why in Asia people behave differently? What is the reason? People at the back, please answer. Any idea? Yes or no? Multiple culture. Okay, okay. But what is multiple culture? How it is different? Okay. I will share one little theoretical concept with you. You know, it was Edward T. Hall, the American anthropologist. He studied culture. He could not understand why people behave differently from different country or had different kinds of culture. You know, Edward T. Hall, when he studied many different kinds of cultures across the globe, and he decided that primarily culture or the people can be divided into major two groups. What are they? The high context and the low context. Now who are the high context people and who are the low context people? The low context people are with the individual behavior and the high context people are with the group behavior. Now these low context people belong to America, Europe and Australia, whereas we Asians, we Africans, we all belong to the Middle East people, we all belong to the high context, that is group behavior. I will take you a little further over here. Okay. Since we are deep into etiquette, they are nothing but conventional rules of behavior in a polite society, and when Edward T. Hall looked into it, he said that we were basically of the high context and the low context. Now, how do you differentiate high context from low context? I'm going to take you through three characteristic traits: sensory involvement, messages and time orientation. Now, you know, in India, this general manager of this organization has a 2-bedroom house and there is a wedding. 20 people come and stay for 2 weeks. They will not crib. They'll enjoy. And their wedding will take fine. The people are coming, going, hustle, bustle, there's no space. But still people enjoy. Whereas you go to the West, father is visiting the son, in the bedroom there are 2 beds, separate beds. Not even 2 joint beds or 1 joint bed, 2 separate beds. Yet the father doesn't want to sleep in the bedroom. He would prefer to sleep in the living room. People even do not, if the children are married, they do not even stay at the place. Yeah, I witnessed some instances, some situations and made a faux pas despite being a cross-cultural communication teacher for so many years, and I've learned, you know, unless and until you make mistakes, you are not going to learn. So even if you are training and practicing, there'll be a, you know, like when you bake a cake for the first time, you're bound to burn it little, or something or the other happens, you know. And if you're lucky, it happens the first time, fine, but you're bound to hit the car when you take it out second time. So similarly, you're bound to have some time or the other. That's what makes you more cautious, more prepared, and much better gradually, and that's how you're called as a experienced person. Okay, I will share this example a little later. Now what is messages? In the West, people, for them the messages are very explicit, whereas in the Oriental side it is implicit. What is implicit? Like, self-understood. You know, मैं हूँ ना. That's the mentality. Here, the man over there is wearing a red t-shirt. The lady over there is wearing a red beautiful scarf. They go to the store and they say, what is the guarantee of this color? They said, first class, very good. Now will it last? Very good, the shopkeeper says. अगर last नहीं किया तो वापस ले आना, मैं हूं ना. आप आज आओ, कल आओ, 3 महीने बाद हो, मैं हूं ना. तो फिर क्या? मैं चेंज कर दूंगा. नहीं तो आप पैसे ले लेना. ना कोई गारंटी है? गारंटी वर्ड एक्चुअली डजंट एग्जिस्ट. कोई वारंटी है? नो. मैं हूं ना. You go tomorrow, day after tomorrow, nobody is there. Even the shop is not there. We also get carried away by that. Whereas in the West, people will write down everything. Very explicit. I am so much in love with you and I plan to get married to you. But tomorrow, if I'm not getting along with you, I'm going to separate my ways. So I need to know the way I need to know the marriage norms, I need to know the divorce norms. Yes, so they're very explicit. Anything, you know, very recently in India we started actually, when we are signing a lease agreement for rent, we are going to the notary and getting it registered. Earlier we used to not even do that. So people in the West are aware of all the consequences, whether they were a little more advanced or whether they were more affluent or they were more experienced or whatever, or they had too little people in population, that they followed everything very explicitly because piche we do not want any lafde jhagde. Yes or no? Yes, whereas we people are very implicit about everything. हो जाएगा, don't worry, मैं हूँ. अरे, what is a guarantee? Now time sense orientation. We have in India, in the Asiatic countries, in the African countries, no time orientation. You know, 10 o'clock show hai, so the show will begin it only at 1 o'clock. 7 o'clock show hai, boss is invited, we'll all reach at 8 o'clock. It's a party, it's a celebrity show, everybody walks and comes in at their own time. No orientation. The boss will call you because you are the best in the organization. What's your name? Sumit. He says, Sumit, I know you're doing so many projects, but you are the best. I want you to take this new project, the foreign project which is coming in. Sumit will say, thank you sir, I'm so grateful. They will not say that we are overloaded. Your own boss, your general manager, your director of the company, he is in so many other boards, his son is getting married, but still when the new project comes, he decides to be the chairman. What happens in the consequence? Not a single project is completed on time. And in the meantime, people will say, what about that project? You know, my son was getting married. You know, I got delayed because I went to that meeting. Man, divide it. You've got so many people, delegate and let people do it their own way and let them make mistakes and learn from it. We don't do that. You know, there's no time orientation. Everything is multiple. Whereas in the West, if Sumit, the way he's called by his boss and he said, take this new project, the person in the West would say, thank you so much sir for reposing your trust on me. I'm right now doing this project and it is it's on the way of completion. By end of this month I should finish, and because this project ran for 6 months, I did not take a single break. I have neglected my family, so I promised them a vacation. So I go out for 2 weeks and I come back to job on 16th of September. If you want, I can take this job only from 16th of September. But in India, if we tell that, fired, that's a very understatement. People will never ever think that you are sporty, you are initiative, never ever think that why you meant it. Forever it becomes a frozen evaluation that this fellow doesn't have any initiatives. Okay, so we need to speak, and the best is, I think my hands are full. I would request, give it to my colleague Puneet, give it to my colleague Jaydeep, give it to my colleague Navneet, who's so good. In India, we should be also taking that little extra lead of telling our colleague is good. Why not give it to the person? and but whereas, thank you sir, you're the one who only thinks and thinks that I'm capable, I will do my best. You make 101 false promises, but when the time comes to deliver, I'm sorry, I was stuck over there, and we come out with all excuses. That's why we behave differently. Now, as a faculty, as an academician, as a researcher, when I look into T. Hall's research, in the 1960s when he did it, probably America was more affluent then, and we had just overcome dependence from the Britishers, and we were taking time. So probably had India also been very rich and less populated, we also would have followed the same culture. Had India been a developed nation, not poverty stricken, I'm sure he did not study why people behave differently, but yes, he said people behave differently. He did not study. If we are little different today, not up to the mark of the West today, of course, in intelligence you cannot compare, but in many other ways, that's because we have many people living below the poverty line, and we have some amount of duty for them, neglecting them when we cross the flyovers or the traffic lights, but always think then how can you contribute, think of that rather than closing one eye and moving on. Okay, now that example which I wanted to share, it was in 2011. It was not that I was then going to America for the first time, but that very moment it happened to be, I was going to Rapid City, South Dakota University for a conference. At Denver, I had to change flights. They were the merger of Continental Airlines and another airlines, I'm forgetting that name. But in the process, they had to shift gates, gate number 12 to gate number 68, and from 2 o'clock to 1:30 the flight was, and eventually took off at 4:30, but they said at 2:30 go to that gate. So in the process, you tend to know the passengers because you're in a queue. And there was a slightly senior lady, and she was much taller than I was, much fitter than I was. I remember what she wore: white jeans, off-white shirt, and a blue jacket, jeans jacket, and one bag and one little trolley. So we walked to many gates, and then it was delayed. Okay, where are you going? I'm going to my son's place in Rapid City. Okay, then when are you coming back? She was from San Francisco, and she said, I'm coming back tomorrow. My son and daughter-in-law, they met with an accident. My daughter-in-law is very serious, and I'll get her tomorrow with me to San Francisco to nurse her back to good health. I said, wow, yeah, very much like Indians, बच्चे संकट में हैं, parents will run away from anywhere at any point of the time. Wonderful. So we talked many things. We managed to catch a quick coffee also. And then, since I had a paper presentation, I thought, let me take this time. And I was sitting where there was internet connectivity. And there was no announcement at 4 o'clock, around 4:15. I go to the side of the gate where they said there will be announcement. I checked, and then I see the popping that flight to Rapid City is ready to take off. I looked, and I went down, and it was about to go. And the lady said, oh, good, Anita, you are here. And I was wondering, how do I reach out to you, but then I couldn't see you. I'm happy you made it. Good, thank you so much. I was also thanking, otherwise catching the connecting flight would have been a big problem because my luggage was already there. We get on at the airport. I wait for my hotel transport to come in. The lady is also waiting. Everybody has left. It's a small airport, Rapid City. Then I asked, you're waiting for your son to come in? She asked me, what are you doing? I said, I'm waiting for the hotel transport. Are you waiting for the son? I asked her. What did she say, Why? No. I'm waiting for the hotel transport to come in. I said, why are you staying in a hotel when you have your son? Immediately she said, but why should I stay with my son? I'm staying in the closest hotel to their house, that is Holiday Inn. I go, I meet them in the evening, come back, and tomorrow I take off. And then when she said, why do I stay with my son? I actually realized I had made a mistake. They believe in giving that little space. Even if she's going to nurse her daughter-in-law back to health, but still she decided not to stay with them and interfere into their normal life. Yes? Okay. We come back. This is the cross-cultural continent. We Asians are very high in high context, and Northern European, the French people are very low over there. Okay, anybody with a business card? Anybody has a business card? Nobody has a business card? Any one of you have a business card? Nobody? Anybody else's business card? Come forward and give it to me. Not a single business card in your bag, let it be yours or someone else's. Good. Thank you so much, young lady. What's your name?
Anjali Das.
Anjali Das. Okay, thank you. Okay. Anjali Das is giving me Mr. Das's card. Okay. Now when you give a business card, many a times we as business professionals, we do not carry business cards. Yes. Second, when we carry, we do not know where it is. We are going for a business meeting in the evening, we are dressed in a 3-piece suit, and when we take the car, we are looking for cards. It's in this pocket, that pocket, which pocket? And finally said, oh, I've forgotten the cards. Oh, it is there, but I can't find. Oh, you're lucky that it's the last card this is. No, your cards have to be there, very handy, and you should not create such a scene. Okay, remember to carry cards, and particularly for the ladies. They always have a new bag for every new outfit they have. Yes, after all they're ladies, there should be some variety. But in the process, please remember to carry your cards. In a hurry, they take some cards, put it into the bag. A little word of caution to all the men folks. You must be having sisters, mothers, aunts, girlfriends, will have wives. Never ever open a lady's bag, even if they have asked you to open it. Never ever. The lady will find and give the card, yes. Oh my God, there's a little lipstick, there's a little hair, I'm sorry. Your cards have to be crispy white. Yes, not crinkled anyway. Now, when you open the bag, men folks, the ladies are never going to be embarrassed. But it is you who is going to be embarrassed. So never ever, if you need to be held high in the eyes of your lady colleagues, your sister, your mother, your girlfriends and wives, please never ever open a lady's bag because it's a Pandora's box. Okay, that's a warning because I'm a lady, I'm a little more particular. So my husband never opens my bag. He said, no, even if you have to give the money, I said, take it over there. No, you open it. So not everything they follow to the T, but yes, this one he follows. Okay, coming back, the card. When you give the card, you can't give the card this way. Particularly to Japanese people, when you give the card, you bow and give. And Japanese people in an order, they'll do namaste and they give. Okay. Now when you give the card, the person should be able to read it. Okay. Now take the card and pocket it. How do you remember in a